Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be doing yet another reading vlog. Although the last few vlogs, I feel like I've been nearing and inching a reading slump. My goal is to actually try to get out of that reading slump by trying to finish all the books that I'm currently in the middle of, because surprisingly, I'm currently in the middle of quite a bit of books. I'm currently in the middle of three books. So we shall see if we can finish that, because I'm going to take you guys along for the next week or 2 weeks maybe to finish all the books I'm currently in the middle of, and also the books that I want to read. Because I'm in a reading slump, I think I should just mood read for the rest of the 2 weeks that I'm filming. So it's a little bit like trying to get out of a reading slump kind of vlog. But yeah, let's go through the TBR first. So this one I'm not actually expecting to finish in this vlog. It is Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. I do want to make a solid progress on this though, so yeah, we shall see. I will try, but also I think I'm gonna switch a little bit to an audiobook, because I think I just need a little bit of an immersive reading, and I think thinking a little bit too hard on what I want to tab. So I'm gonna abandon the tabbing and the annotating for a little bit. If there is some that I really want to, and it's like in my head, I'm like, I need to write this down in the book, then I will do it. But if not, if it's just like small remarks, I'll leave it out. So that's the first book, Pride and Prejudice. The next book that I'm currently in the middle of is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I think I talked about this book quite a lot already in my 24-hour readathon, so I'm not gonna tell you too much about it. I'm gonna tell you the premise when I have like a solid update to this book, but I am currently 119 pages in, and I'm still not enjoying the book enough. I actually have a book mail that I can show you later. I have the second book in there, spoiler. I'm not gonna show you because it's already packed. I'm returning it because I think I'm not gonna continue with this series. We shall see how it's ending, but I think yes, I do not care enough to have like a physical copy of it, so I'm just gonna continue like with my Kindle or something. So the next book I have is The Sword of Kaigan. I know I am finally abandoning the buddy read, or reading at the same time as Patrick, because I think his life right now is just too busy. We don't really have a lot of time where we can just listen to an audiobook for hours and hours on end. So I will be picking this up physically and reading it and trying to finish it before the end of February, because we've started this like beginning of January, and I feel like slowly but surely I'm semi forgetting what it's about. And obviously this is a high fantasy. I don't want to forget anything. So yeah, that's the 3 books. I have one book that I started last night for like 1 minute probably. It's Galatea by Madeline Miller. Madeline Miller, let's just say that. I've really been trying to get into Greek mythology. I have no prior knowledge. In school I didn't have to learn any of this, so to say. So I'm trying to I want to know more, because I feel like I read the Song of Achilles last year, 2 years ago. I quite enjoyed it. And I wanted to pick up Circe, but I've never been in the mood for like a retelling or a mythology inspired book. And now I'm currently in the mood, but I don't know. So I'm going to try and read Galatea and see what I think about that. But also, another book that I have not started but would love to start is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. So we shall see if we like that. And those are pretty much, I think, my TBR of the week. I do have one more book here, but I think I might have to just have like a spoiler filled vlog for this, which is Alchemist by Senlin Yu. I just really want to read it. I feel like the hype died down enough that I'm not like too stressed with the hype around it, so to say, because my expectation would be through the roof, and I don't like going into books with high expectations. I want to have like neutral expectations so that I'm not like disappointed when it's not that good, so to say. But yeah, that's pretty much. Oh no, actually I lied. Since I'll be filming this for quite a bit, I do want to get a head start on reading book club book of the month, which is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I have been craving a little bit of like mystery book, I guess, the mystery genre, because I have not been reading any mysteries recently. So we shall see If Truly Devious series. Is that what it's called, the series? But pretty much this series is for me. And if yes, I have like 5 books to binge. So that's fun. So yeah, quite a bit of a TBR. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, 6 books. But Galatea is super short. I think it's like around 20, 30 pages maybe. So we shall see. I've been seeing people reading that book and people actually quite enjoying it. So we shall see what I think. Other than that, I have a little bit of a book mail. I went to this like secondhand charity shop, kind of online shop for books, like used books. And I decided to pick up like 4 books technically. I'm picking up the 2 books that I'm not going to show you because it's already packed. It's The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I really want like the classic, the mass paperback cover, but not the mass paperback size. So I am swapping my like the white cover one to like the more colorful one. I'm gonna show it on the screen. Sorry, that was so confusing. I'm gonna return that because it's the mass paperback size. So obviously I'm not gonna keep it because I hate reading on a mass paperback because it's just it's too small. So I'm returning that. And the other one, which I already told you, it's the second book in the Raven Boy series, which is the Dream Thieves, it might be. And also, if you're hearing background noises, please ignore that. Yeah, I'm returning those 2. I also have a few more books coming in the mail for that though. Like, I did order a few books because, as you guys know, a few weeks back I donated a lot of books, and obviously I got credit from that shop, so I am spending it all. So I bought quite a bit of books, which you guys will see, I think, throughout this vlog. We shall see though. But the 2 books that I bought and would love to show you is the first one. I have The Wind in the Willows. It's a children's classic, I think. I've been wanting to get into more classics, so there you go. Also, the cover is stunning. I love this. So we will read this eventually, one day. And another one I have is a book that is in my yearly TBR, and I would love to read it semi soon, but I think I will read it in the summer more. It is Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. I do not like this cover, honestly, but I think the other cover, like the black and yellow one, I will show it on the screen again. It's a US version, I think, so we cannot get it here unless it's like hardcover, costs, I don't know, 35 euro or so. And this is significantly lower than 35 euro. So yeah, I do have more book mail coming, like I said, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, I have no plans, honestly, for the next 2 weeks, other than I want to continue with my crochet project. I bought quite a bit of yarn, but I bought it from a different yarn shop, I guess, and they all have slightly wrong color tone when it comes to the blanket that the granny square blanket that I'm working on. But I think this week we're just gonna be working on weaving the ends, so you guys will not see like a lot of progress. I will feel much better when the ends are all weaved in. So yeah, other than that, it'll be like my usual things it'll be like all my usual hobbies. It'll be lots of journaling, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's just get started with reading. I think I want to start with Galatea, and then we can jump into either The Raven Boys or Blood of Hercules, like starting another book. But yeah, that is my plan, and we shall go ahead and start the vlog. So yeah, let's go do that. Good morning, everyone. It is, I think, exactly 2 days later, and I am here with quite a decent reading update. I finished one book. I am continuing the two books that I'm currently in the middle of. And yeah, let me just talk about the two books that I'm currently in the middle of and then the one that I finished. So yesterday, as you guys saw, I did some journaling. I updated a lot on my journals because I have not done that since the beginning of the year. So I did that. And while doing that, I decided to listen to Truly Devious. I started this book, I think I started 50 pages physically, and then I was like, okay, I really want to do some journaling. So I picked it up as audiobook, and I am quite further in. I am 264 pages in. So I want to say 2/3 into the story. This book, okay, before I talk about what I feel towards the book, let me give you a premise of the book. So the story sets in a very prestigious academy called Ellingham Academy. It is the kind of academy that you cannot even apply to. They go out and recruit you personally when they know that you've done something good or something out of the ordinary, so to say. So that's what happened with our main character, Stevie. But instead of having a certain area of expertise that are more common in a way, her expertise is on murder mystery or true crime, whatever it is. So the school is not only famous for its prestigiousness and how well the students are performing, it's also very famous about the murders that happen in this school. I think in total so far I only know 2 major murders. One is of a student, and one is of the founder. So the founder one night got a call that his wife and his daughter are with the kidnapper called Truly Devious, and he wants some ransom money of $25,000, I think. This is back in the 30s, so this is quite a lot of money. He does not care. Threats happen to him all the time, so he just grabbed the money as fast as possible and then go to the location that the kidnapper decided on. And he did. A few months later, I think, the wife's body, they found their bodies. Where exactly? I think it's close to the academy, but on the man-made lake, or the fake lake. You call it fake lake? There's a better word for it, but I cannot think about it right now. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. And Stevie got invited to be in this school, and it's also like a free school, which is quite crazy to think about. She begins her first year of academy, and she is determined to just like solve this case that nobody has ever been able to crack. And then she got tangled up in this like project that she's currently in. One of the people in this group project that she's currently in mysteriously died. Maybe not so mysterious, just died. I think we don't know what yet. It will get explained in a few pages, I think. So my guess is that Truly Devious is back, because Truly Devious is like, did I say that Truly Devious is the one murdering the people? Yeah, so like there's this murderer that murdered these two big cases, and the name is Truly Devious, or they always have a riddle and then sign it off as like, haha, Truly Devious. So that happened, but our main character is still like in denial about it, because like, oh, maybe it was my anxiety, maybe it was me just projecting or like hallucinating it. But obviously this murder happened, so it changes a lot of things. But she's still currently in shock of the aftermath of the murder of like someone on her project, so to say. And we are just going through the interviews with the officials, with the detectives, with the police, so on and so forth. But when I read at the back, it does say that, but Truly Devious makes a surprise return. The past has crawled out of its grave, and someone has gotten away with murder. That's it. But also, the thing is, these murders, they happened, I think in the 30s, 1930s. So obviously, now I think we're like 2016 or so. It's probably not the same people that does it anymore. So I am very intrigued. I do not have any suspicions on who it is, but I'm also really bad when it comes to like murder mystery and guessing who the murderer is. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. What do I think about this book? Honestly, the first, I feel like 100 to 200 pages, it was interesting, but it does not grip me like other mystery books, because with other mystery books, I am gripped and hooked with the story because I really want to know who done it. But with this one, we are like just getting to know the world and the like school that we're in, and we're trying to get to know our main character and even like the murders beforehand, because it is also like mixed media. The book, it has like some kind of tape, some kind of mystery, some kind of like file insert, so on and so forth. So I always love like mixed media books, but I think the first 200 pages were slower than anticipated. Is it very slow? It's not very slow. So I feel like it was okay. But right now, obviously, when the murder of this one guy happened, it definitely picked up, and I'm really, really excited. And I feel like I could finish it today. So maybe we'll finish that today. So that's my update on Truly Devious. So now moving on with the book that I stayed up late for. It is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. I am chapter 14/50% in. I guess I did quite a bit of reading in the past 2 days. But this book, guys, I've never read anything or even know what the actual Greek mythology, like stories when it comes to like the Greek gods. Okay, I'm really underqualified when it comes to this, because I know some people learn about Greek mythology in school, but I've never learned it or even heard of most of it. The first time I actually heard stuff was probably on Disney whenever I watched like the Hercules movies. And I know that's not really accurate. I read the Song of Achilles, and I know that's not the most accurate story either. So I am picking up another Greek mythology retelling. But this book is honestly quite brutal. We are following our main character, Alexis. So we started off in this like trailer park. I think she's with her foster father and foster mother. She has like a broken wrist because they abused her. And then one day, whenever she was 11, I think, she received a 9-year-old foster brother, which has become like her closest friend, which it's a very beautiful relationship between them. And then she finished high school at around 17, but even then, so like 6 years of time jump, we got explained that she lived in a cardboard box behind the school and showered in the school bathroom's sink. So she has a really difficult life and she works, but child labor is considered really bad. I mean, it is bad, sorry. Not to word it wrong, but like here, child labor does not exist. Let's just say it like that. So she needs money desperately because the foster father and mother, they're not in the picture anymore due to some circumstances slash accident that happened 6 years ago. And so it's just her and Charlie and this like creature that took a liking on her called Nyx. I think she's a snake, if I'm not wrong. So going back to the work situation, she worked on tutoring, so she's very smart, but because child labor doesn't exist, she only gets food vouchers, and the food vouchers that she got is only available for Fridays, right? So she has Saturday to Thursday where she can't eat at all. Like obviously some moldy food here and there, but in general, she can't eat. So she starves herself for like 6 days to have food and then again. And then she repeats high school until she gets to 19 because at 19 you get to take this test, like a national exam test, I guess. It's like a Sparta placement test of some sort, and then she can go out to like the real world, do stuff. At the end of this test, you're supposed to put your blood to sign the test off, whatever it is. I don't really understand that part. Her blood is different from other bloods because apparently she is a mutt, which is half Spartan, half human. So she got immediately transported to the Sparta gladiator contest. Pretty much this contest slash placement test whether you are worthy enough for the Spartans. So she needs to go through this like gruesome, like guys, you don't even know how crazy this contest tournament is. And also another thing, she is also very bullied in a sense in the Spartan world. Do you say it like that? And in the human world, because she cannot communicate like normal and she stutters and people bully her for that, which is gets on my nerves because just let them like what's it to you when someone stutter? Anyway, go back to the story. In the Spartan, she is looked differently and people look down on her because she's a girl. With the dwindling rate of babies, obviously human girls, or human mutts, I guess, or female mutts, are very revered. But obviously, she was abandoned as a baby because she's not in the Spartan world. And for a girl to be thrown away like that, she's probably she probably done something really bad. We don't know yet. We don't know even to which houses she belongs to. And also like the magic system in this world, or like even the world building, is quite interesting because Spartans is split into two, Chthonic and Olympians, and there's like 8 houses of I think 8 houses of Olympians, and they're like good Spartans, and Chthonic is like bad Spartans, right? And Chthonic are like House of Hades, House of Aphrodite, Eris, and one more. I don't remember. And then the rest are like House of Zeus, House of Nera. Nera? It does not really matter. She passed the initiation test. With so many broken bones and fractured bones and just bruises left, right, center, she is assigned to a mentor. And the mentor is I think Patroclus and Achilles. But Achilles, you don't really know his personality that well, besides that they're all like ruthless and crazy and menacing because they're from Chthonic, which means they use their power for evil, right? Even Achilles apparently has a muzzle because when he talks, he can make people go insane and like kill them on the spot immediately. Alexis, if she passed this like gladiator tournament, she will become like a proper Spartan, can live in Sparta as well. And the benefit for our mentor, Achilles and Patro, they can be general, which means they have seat in the council of the Olympians, which means they would have more influence because the houses of like the Chthonic houses and the Olympian houses, they're like rivaling because one of them is good, one of them is bad, right? So as much as they hate like a female mutt from the Olympian side. They really want her to win as well because they want the general position. So yeah, that is pretty much that. I think I'm like on week 6 of the tournament. I don't know how long it goes. It was explained in the beginning, but it was also like 1 a.m. So I didn't really like pay attention to the timing. But I think so far I'm really, really loving this book. But yeah, that is the update on Blood of Hercules. And then I have one more update. I'm gonna cut this short though. I read Galatea by Madeline Miller. It was interesting read. It was very short. It was talking about this girl who was a statue, and then the sculpture or the gods touched her, and now she's alive, and then now she has a baby, or like a daughter. And then I'm not gonna say too much because it is so short. It's literally like 40 pages, I think. The husband or the sculptor realized that, oh, her focus is now on the kid and not on me. So he started to become very resentful towards her, and then the story unfolds from there. I think I would love like a full-length story about this, because at the end of it, I was still a bit confused on what happened. And even like the progression of the story was so fast, and some of them are so confusing, but I love the humor that our main character has, which is, I don't know the name. Like, there are no names. Oh, there is a name actually. I think we only know the daughter's name. But our main character, like the statue, she has such a funny humor because she's like, oh, for sure I'm not feeling that because I'm a statue. I am cold. Like, she's not a statue anymore. She's like fully human. She was a statue, and then she kept making comments that like, oh, I'm a statue. No wonder I'm always so cold because I'm stone, which she no longer is. But yeah, I feel like just her comment is so funny. Anyway, that was the update. I talked for about 20 minutes. I really hope that I cut this down though. But yeah, reading plans for the day is to continue with Truly Devious and Blood of Hercules. That is the plan. Let's go do exactly that. And then I will reconvene whenever I have more updates, probably on what I think on these 2 books that I plan to finish today. So yeah. This is the next day, and I have quite a decent reading update. I have 2 reading updates. I'm currently in the middle of another one, but I got book mail, so I thought I want to open it because I think one of the books that I finished yesterday is in here. So let me open it. So I got 4 books. The first one is Wisteria. I really like the book, so I thought I'd buy it. And this is like a secondhand online charity shop. So I feel like it's not just such a waste of my money because I already read it. But I think eventually I do want to reread this. So I'm very excited for this one. This is also especially floppy. I hope it is the same publisher as the other one. We shall see. The other book is a very small novella for Galatea. I actually want to know how long it is. It's 56 pages, but it's also super tiny and super, super short. So I got that. And the next one is the book that I finished. So let's go through that in a bit. I decided I want to collect The Last Hours as well by Cassandra Clare. I actually didn't expect this to be big. I actually wanted it to be small. But maybe I just collect the rest of the series in the tall paperback. I have like the weird size of paperback over there. I have the actual paperback. And I have so many different like versions of the book. So I think maybe it's time to add another random version. I might return it. We shall see. But the last book that I got is Blood of Hercules. I finished this book yesterday. I think I actually do love this kind of book. The thing is, I'm not into dark romance or dark fantasy. Oh, what's considered dark fantasy? I'm not sure. But this is pretty dark romance wise. And I somehow, it's just like the plot of the story is so interesting. I love it. The ending was crazy. I kind of expected it, but so here it says, while unyielding gladiators, Achilles and Patro hone her into a warrior, her professors, the two brooding heirs to the underworld, haunt her steps and her thoughts. So I really thought that the love interest would be Achilles and Patro, but somehow it is the two professors. Karen, oh, he doesn't like it when people, Sharon and, or Sharon and Augustus. Augustus? How do you say that? Augustus. You know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, also this book is so shiny. The ending was quite crazy. Honestly, our main character needs to get a break because also the reveal in the end, the plot twist about who she really was quite crazy because the whole book we really think about like, okay, she's a mutt, but how is she a mutt? Like, okay. So in the whole book, we're like speculating where is she from, what's actually her powers, so on and so forth, right? But when it's the actual reveal, I did not expect that whatsoever. But the thing is, the Greek mythology retelling here, it's very, I want to say it's far-fetched, but it is that close to the actual like mythology, so to say. So it is interesting to see what's going to come. And another book that I finished yesterday is Truly Devious. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I really thought that it will be like a Good Girl's Guide to Murder, where you finish the first mystery in the first book, and then the second one, there's a different mystery. But there is some mystery element to this. Element, did you see that? But also, the underlying or the main mystery, like who actually truly devious, we don't know yet. And we're still speculating. It's so messy. I love it. I love reading about like high school dynamic between like the high school students and how they like balancing their life, social life and academic life. And especially in this like academy when you're so obsessed with what you're studying. So it's really hard to balance it out. I really love Stevie's mind though. I feel like she's so cool. The way she thinks about the murder, so on and so forth. I love it. I started The Vanishing Stare. I think I'm like maybe 40% into it. So I'm really into this. I really want to go get the physical copy of all of them. But obviously, not going to get that. But yeah, that was pretty much the update that I have for this time. I am continuing the Villains of Lore. Is that what it's called, the series? I'm not sure, but I'm continuing to Bonds of Hercules. It's so good. I'm loving it. But I think it's a little bit of like a reverse harem. I don't know how I feel about that. I love the plot. I love how brutal Sparta is. Or like the Spartans, I guess. But like even the world. Oh my gosh. I feel like the plot itself is really good. And the characters are very well thought out. Although I feel like Patro, Achilles, Augustus, and Sharon, there's also similar, I guess, like personality wise. Except there's this one thing that I'm so annoyed at, but I think that's like the whole point. But Patro keeps calling our main character Alex, even though she said she does not like the name Alex because it reminded her of her abusive mother. She doesn't say that it reminded her of her like abusive mother, like foster mother, but it's still like when someone says that they don't want to be called that, please respect it. Some disturbing things have happened, but I expect nothing less with such a dark, gory, and gruesome like fantasy book. So I'm okay. I'm not that far into it. I'm 72 pages in / 16% in. So not that far in yet, but I am planning to just read this the whole day. The whole day. It's already like almost 6. It is exactly almost 6. But I am excited to continue reading this today. I do want to go back to my original TBR though, which is The Raven Boys, Pride and Prejudice, and Sword of Geigen. Anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting, but it was such a good reading day yesterday and today. I will continue reading Bonds of Hercules and then The Vanishing Stair, and then I will see what I'll be up to. Hello everyone, this is, I think if I'm not wrong, 3 days later. I could be very wrong, but I want to say a little bit of a reading update. I have been continuing on The Vanishing Stair, which is the second book in the Truly Devious series, and I am enjoying it, but I don't know if I have any reading updates when it comes to that, so we're just gonna move to the next reading update because I have finished a book that I started yesterday. So I know the TBR of this video, this vlog, is pretty much to finish all the books that I'm currently in the middle of, right? But yesterday I was just craving a different book. So I decided to do exactly that. I picked up, okay, this is already a different cover because I'm gonna start this book, but I finished a series which is called the Lakefront Billionaire series, I think it's called, by Lauren Asher. The first 2 books in the series I absolutely love. I feel like it's the kind of like, I'm obsessed with the stories, but I never really think about it, except like one scene from Love. What's the first book? Love Rearranged? No, Love Redesigned. I have it up there. But this book is honestly quite interesting. I do not care about our main characters as much, but I feel like it was a good palate cleanser book. I read like 600 pages worth of contemporary romance in less than 24 hours, which in my book it's good because I am experiencing one of the worst reading slump ever. But either way, the story follows our main character, Lily and Lorenzo. They are, I'm not gonna say too much, but they're pretty much stuck in this fake dating scenario that they made. But before this fake dating happened, they already had like a little bit of a history because they met. They knew each other from town because this is like a very small town, and then they actually talked and got to know each other from like a dating site or dating app. But the thing about this dating app is that you don't see the face of the other person, so you just like talk to them to get to know their personality, so to say. So that is what's happening in this book. I'm not gonna say too much. It's pretty much reluctant ally, enemies to lovers, also second chance, also small town, also fake dating, a bunch of trope. But I'm not gonna say too much again because it is a contemporary romance. And I think with contemporary romances, it's good to enter the story without actually like knowing a lot about the story. But yeah, my verdict was it was a good palate cleanser. Was it anything crazy that I would think about for years and years to come? Nope. But yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts on Love Arranged. But what I actually come here to talk to you about is Pride and Prejudice. I've been reading this nonstop for the past like 4 days, 3 days, whatever it is. I'm trying to make so much progress, but it's actually quite difficult to make progress on a classic. I want to say, halfway into it. This is, I think, I literally stop at a point where I think probably is the turning point of the story, because we are following Lizzie and Mr. Darcy, like Miss Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Before this, guys, I feel like I did not really see the romance developing so much, and I was just semi getting kind of bored, because although it is interesting to see what's up with like Jane and Mr. Bingley and like what's happening around Lizzie and Lizzie getting proposed to, or even like Lizzie getting to know this character called Mr. Wickham, like it's interesting to read about her life, but at the same time the writing style is probably good for, when was this released? Like for the 1800s, the writing style was probably really good, but I think it's just so difficult sometimes to understand what Jane Austen is trying to tell us as the audience or as the reader, because it goes around a lot and not going to the point as fast, which sometimes I'm just like, come on, just give us something. 2 chapters before this, something big just happened. I think it's probably an iconic scene for Pride and Prejudice lover. It's actually where Mr. Darcy confessed his feelings towards Lizzie. I feel like it was obviously not out of nowhere, because we know Darcy's like intrigue and not obsessiveness, because I don't think it was obsessive, but it's more like we know that Darcy is into Lizzie, right? Darcy, what's his first name? Fitzwilliam? Yeah, he's into Lizzie, right? And then he just confessed to her, and she outright rejected him. Like, no joke. And honestly, not gonna lie, after that, it was kind of sweet that Darcy was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna force my feelings onto you, but I want to explain all the misunderstanding that's been happening and what you've been judging me on, hence prejudice, right? So he wrote her a letter that is honestly decently long, explaining everything that needs to be explained. I feel like it was good in a way, because we cleared out all this like misunderstanding between them, but also what a sick guy Mr. Wickham is. Like, he wants the fortune so bad that he took a 15-year-old girl to get married with him. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. But I know that that's probably a turning point in the story where probably Lizzie will like Mr. Darcy a bit more. And I'm just excited how it's gonna pan out. I think the last half of the book will be super duper interesting, and I'm so excited to continue. Which I think tonight I want to make quite a decent progress in this, but also if I get sick and tired of reading a classic, I have another book in mind that I could continue. I definitely want to see if I continue The Vanishing Stair, which I don't know. I do not have the physical or the ebook for that. I only have the audiobook, so maybe I'll have a listen. We shall see. But another book that I thought we could pick up, I've been hearing so many people obsessing about this particular book, which is Nightshade by Autumn Woods. I've heard so many good things. People have been saying that this is their god tier book. And obviously, since I have not found a 6-star read slash many 5-star reads this year yet, so I really want to find more 5 stars, obviously. So we shall see if we pick this one up. Or another thing that we could start is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I have it over there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take you guys along until the end of February, I think, which is which is still 4 days away. Is it? Yeah, 4 days away, including tonight. I'm gonna do quite a decent reading. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with the Sword of Kaigen in this vlog. I want to, but I'm currently so obsessed with continuing Pride and Prejudice, The Vanishing Stair, maybe even this, and Warbreaker. Yeah, I know. I think I finished quite a bit of books already in this vlog. I finished Truly Devious, I finished Galatea, Blood of Hercules, Bonds of Hercules, and Love Arrange. So it's quite a lot already. So I don't know how much I want to take you guys along, but since I'm not planning to vlog anything else till the end of the week, I thought I'd just take you guys along with me, and it'll be just a slightly longer vlog than usual. So yeah, these are the 2 plans that I have for tonight. My goal is probably to reach volume 3. Yeah, I have around 30 pages, no, more 40 pages. So we shall see if we can read that tonight. If I get to read it a bit more, that'd be good. But we shall see. I think volume 3 will be epic. So I'm going to try and finish that tonight and make more progress. Maybe my goal is to finish this in the next 4 days. I think it's doable. We shall see. But yeah, I will update you on any other books that I decided to start. So yeah, let's go and read some more of Pride and Prejudice. Okay, I have a lot of update to give you. First of all, what just happened right now, I watched the 2005 movie adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. I've been missing out on this. I'm slowly losing it. Whenever I was watching it, the whole time I was like, oh my gosh, the yearning. Okay, I need to relax. But before we do a little bit of a movie review, I know nobody asked for this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Before that, though, I finished this book. The fact that I finished this and immediately went to the movie, I think was so good because everything was kind of fresh in my mind. Although not like towards the end, not a lot of things are happening the same way, so to say. You can see how many tabs I've made, but I think my thought of the book is that I don't feel the tension between the character as much as in the movie for some reason. I am still quite obsessed with Mr. Darcy and Lizzie. I think they're both it's so funny. Every time I was reading this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like rivals to lovers or like misunderstanding kind of trope. And at the same time, he was very rich, which means this is also like a billionaire trope kind of vibe. I found that so hilarious. But honestly, it is quite good. Is it a 5 star? I don't think so. I think the writing style was just a little bit difficult sometimes to understand, which is understandable. The fact that this comes out like 200 years ago, it's okay. But honestly, I feel quite accomplished that I finished a full-length classic that I've been wanting to read for pretty much my whole life, but have not had like really the urge, the courage to start it and finish it. Although it took me 1 month to finish this, still very glad. And the movie review. Somehow I feel more the yearning aspect here compared to the book. The book is not bad, and the movie was really good. I'm so tempted to now just binge watch the rest of the night other movie adaptations from like different years when it comes to Pride and Prejudice, because I've been missing out on this, guys, and I was like the whole time I was so mad because I missed out on this for apparently 21 years. Although I think in the movie, somehow Lizzie is more like giggly and bubbly. And I think, enjoy the movie equally as much as the book. But the book, I think it was really interesting to see Lizzie's character development and just like her inner thoughts, her inner monologue. And I feel like it's so interesting because we get to know what she's experiencing internally. Meanwhile, in the movie, we're just seeing both of them like outwardly. I don't really see the development on either side, so to say. So it is interesting, and I think it made the movie more impactful that I've read this slash read this immediately slash just finished it like today. So I'm happy that I did that. Another reading update that I have is that I finished The Vanishing Stair, which is the second book in the Truly Devious series, right? I think in a way we have solved like the majority. Honestly, in this book, the mystery aspect is still so good. The the vibe of the school, the vibe of the environment, the friend group and everything. I'm just loving it and eating it up. I think I want to start the next book, which is called The Hand on the Wall, I think. I really want to start that one. How frustrated I am and how infuriating it is to read about David and Stevie's relationship. They're so toxic. Like, all you have to do is honestly just sit down and communicate, which they tried, but on Stevie's side, it did not end up well because Stevie being Stevie, and just, I think in general, the relationship is very toxic. I am very intrigued in how it's gonna develop, proceed. The mystery, the overarching mystery of it, I think we are very close to figuring out who it is. If not, we're already on that path. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I think it's really interesting to figure it out yourself. But I think the ending of the book also opens up to a new possible mystery coming. I am very excited to read. I also started this book, which I am currently 20% in. I'm so excited to continue, but also the vibe of this school is like Truly Devious vibes. But I think it'll get very toxic. There's an overarching mystery that we're trying to solve. Let me just explain to you, okay? Our main character, Ophelia, is joining the Sorrow Song university, I think, because she wants to solve her parents' murder. The parents worked for this university, but this university is very prestigious, very expensive. She got a free tuition, I think, to get into this like scholarship of some sort. What happened to her parents? Because we know nothing about it really, except that the university has something to do with it. The first person she met outside of the gate is Alex Green, which is obviously the son of Kane Green, which her dad explicitly said before he died, do not get entangled or get to know or just stay away from this guy. So that's the premise of the book. The gothic vibe of this book, like the fog in the middle of the forest, I think is just so good. I did receive some book mail. I ordered these books with my Christmas gift card a while ago, but apparently I didn't know that they are special editions, so it took them so long to come here. But I finally received these two books, which is The Crown of Gilded Bones. Pretty much, apparently, after reading The Crown of Gilded Bones, instead of going to the War of Two Queens, which I did, you're supposed to start a different series, which would explain some of the characters that we will see in the War of Two Queens. I was a bit confused about that, but obviously it's because I'm missing, like, it's not that it's a lot of things missing. Like, I didn't miss that much, but I would have loved like more in-depth explanation for some of the characters. It doesn't change how the story progression went or even like the story, but I think knowing some characters from this series would make the story just more deeper, I guess, in the War of Two Queens. But either way, I've done that, so I'm gonna jump into this to continue the series. Yeah, wait, I need to show you why it's a special edition. First of all, I think it's because it's like a larger size of paperback. This is like normal paperback, and it is like, oh, it's slightly, ever so slightly larger. But yeah, so the special edition about this is that it has like, it's sprayed, like the edges is sprayed, although I really couldn't care more about sprayed edges. I feel like if the sprayed edges are really good, I would love it, but these are okay. Like, I'm not obsessed with it, and I don't, if any, do I hate it? I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. So that is pretty much the haul that I have. But yeah, that is all that I have for tonight. But yeah, I think I'm gonna focus on Nightshade, and we'll see if we read more of this. But I know Nightshade is not that long, so maybe I read both. But I will update you tomorrow with the final update. Welcome to the final update of the vlog. This is such high adrenaline right now because I literally just finished this book like less than a minute ago. I just turned on the camera because I thought we can end the vlog together, and I really need to talk about this book, okay? I have beef a little bit with the Insta romance, the Insta love in a way, but I do love the mystery aspect of it. I definitely did not guess the proprietor. Okay, I have considerably calmed down. And also I looked up that the second book in the series, which is the Sarah Song University series, is coming out on the 28th of July. So I'm really intrigued to read that. Although it was such a cliffhanger ending, I think the mystery aspect of it is really interesting. Although, I don't know, I feel like the romance itself, it got too hard too fast in a way, because I just feel like, surely you've just met this person for 6 months and you cannot be utterly and completely, thoroughly gone for her like this. It is not an insta love, but it is definitely an insta intrigued immediately, which I think it's more okay than insta love. But in a way, because the short time span that we spend with him, it feels like it's a bit rushed. I feel like at this point, if the romance starts on the first book, it is an insta love for me, or like it's not enough of a slow burn for me to love it. I understand why people would love it. I love the whole aesthetic, the whole vibe, and everything. I think the trope in this book is probably like billionaire romance of some sort and enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers. What would I rate this book though? Maybe 3.5, 3.75. I feel like it's good. Would I ever think about? Maybe I would think about it still. Okay, maybe 2.5. No, 4.25. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I cannot give you a coherent update slash final thought on this because I just finished it literally 5 minutes ago, so I cannot really think about it clearly in a way. But the other books that I continued reading and made progress of is The Raven Boys. I'm still having the same feelings as I feel in the beginning, which is I don't feel the pull towards them, and I feel like it's just giving me nothing right now. Although it is slightly more interesting now that we have met everyone, or that everyone has met each other, so to say, and then her mom, Blue's mom, reacted really weirdly towards Gansey or the Raven Boys, and I feel like that's also quite interesting. But I don't know, something about the meeting, because I just read the meeting part of it, and it was interesting to say the least. It definitely intrigued me in what's happening, but I don't know if I want to continue the series. Obviously, I'm not even halfway in this, so maybe. But if I'm planning to finish this, you guys will know. But as of for now, I am gonna be soft DNFing the rest of the series. I'm obviously gonna continue this. This is gonna be the book that I'm gonna continue next. So yeah. So in this vlog, I actually finished 8 books. That was quite crazy. I think I started from, wait, I have my Notion here, so I'm sorry if I'm looking this way, but I started from the 14th of February and now it's the 26th of February. So it is almost 2 weeks of filming this. I did not expect to have read all these books, but I think Galatea, let's just go through them and talk a little bit through them. I read Galatea, really enjoyed it. It is what prompted me to read the next 2 books in the last. And then we read Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. I was in a Greek mythology kick, so obviously reading this was really good. The first book was honestly so good. I had so much expectation for the second one. I think that's why the second one falls a little bit flat. I really enjoyed it. This book is very, very brutal. I feel like our main character went through so much. Poor her. But honestly, it's good that she's living in a slightly better condition. The next book that's gonna come out is about Medusa. As like Medusa will be the main character, so I'm really, really excited for that. But the second book, which is the book that I read next, fell a little bit flat because I think it's too much, it's forced yearning. So yeah, I don't know, something about that book. I love yearning, but something about the book just did not hit as hard. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Blood of Hercules and Bonds of Hercules. The next book I finished is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Although I did not finish The Vanishing Stair immediately after, I'm just gonna talk about 2 of them all in one go. I really, really adore it. I definitely want to pick up the physical copy of the second book. I did not love it as much as like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder or the Natural series, but it could be up there. The thing is, I'm only on the second book and there is 6 books in the series, so I'm really excited to pick the third book up, which is The Hands on the Wall, I think. So I'm gonna pick that one up pretty soon. But I think what really pulled me into the series is definitely the gothic atmospheric and the school setting, because it gives a little bit of like dark academia vibes. I think it is dark academia plus a murder mystery. Truly enjoy it. After that, I finished Love Arranged, which is the last book in the Lakefront Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. I feel like compared to the first two books, it is not as good, but it is exactly what I needed. I think it's like a 600, almost 600 page book, and I finished it I read 70% right before bed, and then the last 30% like right the morning after. So it is exactly what I needed, I guess. Although coming into it was really difficult because I'm just not in the mood for contemporary romance right now, but when I'm in the middle of it and it is quite like the tension between the characters, you can really feel it. So I think that's what kept me going back to reading the book. So essentially I finished like this book in 2 sittings. Before Nightshade, which I just finished just now, I finished Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I am so proud of myself to be finishing such an iconic classic. Although the other full-length classic that I've read is Dracula, which is also a very iconic one. I feel like before reading the two, I'm definitely more anticipating this one, and especially after watching the adaptation of it, I love it so much. But yeah, I think in the beginning of the vlog, I just wanted to finish all the books that I was in the middle of. So I finished 50% of the TBR and did not finish the other two. I will take this and read this slowly. I do want to try and finish The Raven Boys semi soon. The Sword of Kaigen, we shall see. I feel like I semi forgot what's happening. And we started this at the beginning of the year, so it's almost 2 months. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna abandon ship and just read this myself. I might start from the beginning, although I still quite remember what's happening. I'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching such a long vlog. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Talk to me down below what you've been reading, whether you've read any of these books and you think the same way as I do, or you have different opinions. Let me know down below, and I will catch you in my next one. Goodbye!